Hello, my name is Melba. I am originally from Barbados, West Indies. I now live in Georgia. Um, the Lord called me to dance after I moved to Georgia about 2 years. I was at a church retreat, and when the Lord was prophesied to me to get my dancing shoes out, we started. Dance ministry came out of that retreat. Of course, I joined it. Then I learned I don't know my right foot from my left foot, so that did not work very well. But I stayed with it, mostly doing not choreographed dance, but more praise and worship, type of thing with the hands. That's what I did. Um, while I was there, I was getting ready to move, and this lady, I met this lady where I lived, and she invited me to her church. She said the Lord had something for me, wanted me to come to her church. So I did, and I would go there on a different day than my regular church. But at that church, one day I was there, and the Lord whispered to me that He wanted me to worship Him in a different way, and He said He wanted me to use flags. Now, I had never seen flags. That church didn't had one small flag on the altar, which I was not going to touch. But anyway, it was also prophesied to me at that church. Well, not directly, but if prophecy came forth that someone who was looking for a home, the Lord was going to help them to buy one. And I claimed that because that's exactly what I was doing. A few months later, I did get my home. When I moved into my new home, a friend told me about a church in the area. And I went to that church, and that church had a flag ministry, which was awesome. Of course, I knew I was to join the flag ministry. That was about January. In that summer, they started a program called Boot Camp, which I went to because I needed to know more about the Lord and ministry. The boot camp took us to two different outreaches. And the second outreach, we went to a church. We was at a church for the homeless, where the pastor and the volunteers went around on Sunday mornings and pick up these guys and ladies from different shelters and from the parks and bring them in, give them breakfast, and then we would have a full service. Now, during that first service, I found my feet started moving, and I got up and I was just dancing. I danced through the whole service, all through the praise and worship. At the end, I went over to apologize to the leaders, and that's when I learned about the Holy Spirit, that it was Him who was doing it, because I had no idea what I was doing. But that week, the Lord asked me to go back to that church and to take flags. And keep in mind, I never did join the flag ministry, but I did find out how to make the flags. And on that Sunday, I went back to the church and asked the pastor to give permission to use the flags. And he said I can do, whatever I wanted in the church. Yeah. But anyway, I took the flags, I put them on the altar, and that Sunday, the men and the women got up, and they were the ones using the flags. It was so amazing, and to watch these people who live on the streets and live on shelters, just praising the Lord. The next thing the Lord did was He asked me to paint on silk. And then I realized it was to also for the same ministry, because he asked me to paint flags and banners, and the banners would have the word of the Lord on it. It may say Jesus, it may say hope with a picture, it may have a lion and a lamb, it may say holy. But what it did, it took when I dance through the church, because of course that's what he called me to, dancing through the church, not at the front of the church necessarily, is that it took the people's minds off of themselves during praise and worship, and you know, and it lifted it, lifted up their lives, it lifted up their hopes to him, where you know they can be reminded of who he was, and so that's how I got in also to painting silks, you know, but so that's what I do. I paint silks. I also he also had me write devotionals for the same group of people, you know. And When I started writing, I asked the Lord to give me tiny little books, you know, little devotionals that I can just share, that someone can put in their pocket, and you know when they need a word, they can just pull it out. And you know, God is so good. He's so amazing that I have written over 13 of those devotionals and have given away thousands, because He also provided someone, you know, to print them for me. But um, now at this stage in my life, I continue to paint for, you know, for others. I paint flags and banners for people all over the country. But people are more and more people are asking me, you know, to see me dance, to teach them how to dance. Problem is, I don't know how. And for years, as people had asked me to teach the children, I always got one of my friends to teach. But it's the Lord is pressing it more upon my heart that I need to, and you know, to give up what He has given me, because He's given me really a gift. So I need to learn the foundations about dance, to learn the, you know, a few of the techniques and what they mean, and so that when I'm teaching you know, teaching kids or teaching adults, I know some of what I'm talking about. Because right now I just dance in the spirit, which is I don't have to know anything. I can just step into the dance. I can dance to any song. I just you know, it's all Holy Spirit. It's all the spirit dance that I do. So, but now I want to learn the foundations of dance, and that's why I am here. I look forward to meeting many of you. And Pastor Lynn, I met her first at a conference a few years ago that I was invited to. It was one of the graduations I was invited to by one of my friends, and that graduation was a workout because I do not exercise like that. But I had signed up to dance, and I did at that conference, and I must say I had never danced like that before. I mean, there was so much freedom, there was so much abandonment. I mean, I think I was so totally exhausted that the Holy Spirit just came in and just took over the dance. Because I am telling you, it was all just him. So I do thank you, Pastor Lane, for the privilege of doing that dance, and also for the privilege of you know coming at this time and in this season to learn more about dance. And I look forward to it. Thank you.